Hello, everyone, and welcome to our discussion on evolving your career path, insights and strategies for success, hosted by us here at Elastic. So firstly, whilst everyone is sort of joining and logging on, it'll be really good to see where people are sort of, signing in from today. So feel free to post your location in the chat. It'll be great to see some of the different places. Great, quite a variety. I guess so. Let's start. So the reason why we wanted to put this discussion on today was based off a recent article from Hired, the talent recruiting platform, that highlighted 76% of people that look for a new role cite dissatisfaction with career progression opportunities as a contributing factor to this decision. So this made us think about all the different possibilities and the different career paths that you can take within engineering. And we wanted to give a little bit of inspiration to those who may be feeling a little bit lost, and share some advice to anybody that's curious about changing career direction. So as a heads up, we will leave time at the end for your questions. So please, feel free to keep those posted in the channel. We'll be able to sort of get to those at the end of the chat. And awesome to see so many different locations coming in. I think we've got Barcelona, Texas, Turkey. So quite a variety. So welcome everybody. I now have the pleasure to introduce our awesome panel today. So firstly, let's start with you, Jen. Can you share your personal journey within engineering and since you've been with Elastic?
Yeah, hi everyone. So for me, I started my career as an individual contributor software engineer. And then when I joined Elastic, I also started as an individual contributor here. And then eventually, after a few years here, I got the chance to become a manager for the team that I work on.
Nice. Great. And Najwa, what about yourself?
Hi, everyone. So for me, I started my journey as a technical consultant before Elastic. I was integrating the company's software in the supply chain industry. And then I moved to support engineering at Elastic, and I spent almost 2 years, 2.5 years, working with customers on their day-to-day questions, issues, all kinds of urgencies. These were, of course, with the Elastic stack. After that, I did an internal transition at Elastic from support to product management. So it's been a couple months now that I'm a product manager in the Elasticsearch team.
Amazing. Finally, Yulia. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Yulia Naumenko. I'm Security Solution Tech Lead at Elastic. I joined Elastic almost 5 years ago, and my location is San Francisco Bay Area, and originally I'm from Ukraine. Most of my career, more than a decade, were in engineering, and I started as an individual contributor and continue my career now in the tech leadership.
Amazing. Great. So I guess, each of you have sort of highlighted that you've taken slightly career direction in a slightly different way. So I guess, how did you decide to follow the career path that you chose, and what were the different steps you took to achieve those goals? Najwa, I'll go to you on that one.
Sure. So in my previous positions, I was really working daily with customers and trying to help them solve their problems with technical solutions. And I really enjoyed that part of my job, which was really, I was really feeling useful by helping those problems. And I also found myself actually usually trying to be proactive about the solutions that I was suggesting to customers. And for example, by creating knowledge base articles and trying to create enhancement requests, or file bugs that are well documented, and then do some follow-up after that, because I liked the ability of having a certain impact on the customers and not just applying a technical solution. So by doing that, I asked myself, what do I really like about my current job? And these were the things I found myself really enjoying the most. So once I have learned about the product management role, I really found a lot of aspects to it that I enjoyed. And once I had this goal to transition to product management, I tried to kind of list down smaller objectives that would lead me to that position. And there were many things that I could have done. And I usually try to prioritize actions and objectives based on the Pareto principles that says that like 20% of the causes produce 80% of the outcomes.
Nice.
That really helped me prioritize and not get too overwhelmed with all things that I can do to achieve that. And yeah, so this was my my approach to it once I have identified my goal and how I went through the steps to achieve.
Awesome. No, that's great. And yeah, what about yourself, Yulia? How did you decide the career path?
As I mentioned, I've been in engineering for like more than a decade and started my career in Ukraine, in Ukrainian company in Propelled. And I've been in that company for 8 years and was able to grow my career there from individual contributor to engineering manager. And then I moved to US. And after moving to US, I joined Elastic, and that was everything were really new to me: the country, the culture, the team, the way of working. And yeah, when I joined Elastic, I joined as a senior software engineer. And what what I found like here in that company, that people around were very inspiring. So my first goal was to like survive and learn.
Yeah.
And after amazing 2 years with a Kibana platform team, I was decided to look for new challenges. So I found the opportunity in security solution team that was like an open position. And I think my previous strong engineering background helped me to be welcomed in the team, and the team believed in me as a leader. Because at Elastic, I was mostly like working as an individual contributor and proved my strong engineering skills. But yeah, I might say Elastic is very, very amazing place to work and providing and giving people a lot of opportunities.
No, glad you think so. And I know, obviously, with being in these sort of positions, it takes a lot of confidence to sort of put yourself forwards. I guess, how do you make sure to advocate for yourself when it comes to internal mobility opportunities? Najwa, I don't know if you want to start.
Absolutely. I think that it's really important to advocate for oneself in terms of internal mobility, because it's not always that there's the right job opportunity that is available at the right time. So it's very important that you start off early by, for example, expressing openly your career goals with your manager if you can, so that it really opens that conversation, and then you can together draw the path and see what can help, what you can do today to get ready for that day when the right opportunity will come. And so for myself, I did that. I expressed that with my manager. We talked about it quite openly, where we were like designing my career development goals based on that. And the second thing is that I tried to get myself involved in, so for me, it was product management. So I tried to get myself involved in PM work internally at Elastic, really offered my help to PMs and tried to help them like in projects, or in maybe like just getting the right data for their discovery, or anything that I could do to get myself involved and to start learning the job so that I can get ready for that day when this opportunity would come.
Awesome. No, that's great. And what about yourself, Jen?
Yeah, I relate to a lot of what Najwa said, because for me, moving from an IC engineer to manager, at that time, I was part of a team that was building a brand new product. So along with the product, the team itself was growing. So I could see that there were going to be opportunities in the near future with like team reorg, and just naturally as the team grew, for there to be leadership opportunities. And because I really enjoyed the team that I was working on, and I enjoyed the product that I worked on, I could also see like the challenges that we were having. And even while I was an IC engineer, I kind of like took up some of the leadership gap that I saw that were missing. And I continuously expressed my interest in developing my leadership skill with my direct manager, as well as my skip level, who was the director at the time. And then from those conversations, I also made sure to point out like the leadership thing that I was already doing, just so that they had a good picture of the things that I was already doing. And then from there, of course, as I sort of saw, the team eventually grew and a team lead position opened up. And so, based on the conversations I was already having with those people, I was able to take up that role.
Amazing. And yeah, I guess obviously all of you, are in the sort of positions that you've sort of aspired to be in. I guess, over your career, have you experienced any challenges or any setbacks, and how did you sort of try to overcome them? So if we go to you, Yulia.
Yeah, I think I'm experiencing challenges like all the time. I mean, I believe challenge is a grow, and this is something that we should be looking for. And this is like my personal opinion. That was very challenging to get back to coding after engineering manager position for a few years. When I joined Elastic, I started as an individual contributing, so I was put like a lot of effort and changing mindset to spending most of the time on the coding and architectural problems. But now when I switched back to leadership position, I need to do less coding, which is a challenge because this is like becoming the habit you spent previously from your previous role, and you need to like now rely more on the people around you, give more trust on them, and this is like another challenge. And like anything you do, something new to you is always challenging. And how to deal with that? Ask about help. Look at the people around you, rely on them, and everything is going to be fine. And do not afraid the challenges at all.
No, that's great. And what about yourself, Jen?
Yeah, so Yulia talked about like the challenges of like becoming an IC after becoming a manager, and for me, I think it was the opposite for me. Like transitioning from IC to manager was extremely challenging for me. It's like a brand new set of responsibilities, and when I was a software engineer, my definition of success was very clear to me. Like it was, the code that I produced, the way that I worked with other people to ship features. And the definition of success as a software engineering manager was not clear to me at all in my first year. And to be honest, that whole first year of me being a manager, I just wanted to quit and go back to just IC software engineering. But I told myself that I would try it for a minimum of at least 2 years. So I'm glad I kind of like decided that for myself, because it became a lot clearer and easier in my second year. So I was just suggest for somebody to have like that kind of resolve to, even when things get tough, just try to stick it out, because it does get easier over time. And as far as like imposter syndrome goes, I think it's also really good to keep a record of your accomplishment, both big and small. I kind of like refer to this as like a portfolio of evidence that you can kind of like look back whenever you are in doubt of yourself. And also be open and transparent with your manager when experiencing these feelings, because their perception of you is probably a lot different than what your perception of yourself is.
Amazing. Love that advice. And yeah, I think obviously, as we highlighted at the beginning, different companies, unfortunately, their cultures can sort of facilitate, or they can hinder internal mobility opportunities for employees. From your side, how has company culture impacted your career development, would you say? And Najwa, it'd be great to get your thoughts.
Sure. So I really think company culture, I agree with that statement that it can facilitate or hinder the internal mobility. At Elastic, it really facilitates. In two ways, at least for me. The first way is that it's an open culture. So you see people around you doing internal mobilities. You see, for instance, some emails in like team emails who like at the top of the email would list down the open positions, and this is an internal email. So it just gives you an example to follow, and it also makes it like a topic that you can speak to your manager about or to your colleagues about openly. It's not a problem to tell your manager. It's not like you're abandoning the team or anything. It's just an open conversation that you can have, which really like helped put me in confidence about this. And the second aspect is that there is a program called the peer-to-peer program at Elastic that basically peers up two people from separate teams in the company. So if someone is interested in a certain job or topic, they can choose to get paired with someone who has that position. And it's super interesting. In my experience, I was paired up with two PMs, and we had bi-weekly conversations where they shared a lot of resources that helped me a lot, books, podcasts, and really it was helpful even to get the right mindset and shadow them. And it was really key for me to actually do this mobility.
Oh, no, that's awesome. And yeah, what are your thoughts, Yulia?
I absolutely with Nashwa here, where elastic culture, like open culture, is really inspiring people around. So you know how somebody's career is growing, what the opportunities around. So we are sharing opportunities in the company inside. So we what open positions is there, and when you want to make a move, you are not have that feeling like again you are doing something bad for your team and you are just want to run away. If you it's just a new story, new challenge, and I think managers at Elastic encourage people to learn, to take leadership on things. So, and for example, if you're an individual contributor and you want to grow in the technical leadership position, you can take that opportunities, and you can try to lead any initiative inside the company.
Amazing. And yeah, I guess final question before we move into the Q&A. So yeah, anybody that's got any questions, feel free to sort of pop them in the chat box, because we'll get to those in a minute. Yeah, so final question is going to be for all of you. So what advice would you give to somebody who is trying to make a career change or explore, opportunities in a different field or the same industry, would you say? And yeah, Jen, I don't know if you want to take this one first.
Yeah, so I think the first thing I would recommend for people to do, and this is somewhat related to the last answer I gave, which is around like the perception of yourself may be different than how other people perceive you. So I would ask for advice, for feedback from your peers and or managers, so that you get a picture of your strengths and weaknesses. And then if you are looking for a new role or transferring department, try to connect with someone in that space, and try to get a picture of what it means to be successful in that space. And then from there, if you have your strengths and weaknesses and you have the definition of success for the new role, try to connect the dots a bit. Like, think about how your strengths lend themselves to being successful in the new role. And then for your weaknesses, think about like what areas you should improve in order to be successful in that new role.
Nice. That's great. And what about you, Yulia?
I recommend do not push on yourself hard to bring the immediate value in the new role. If you are coming to the new company, new culture, just take your time, learn about the team, the product, the organization itself. Find area you will enjoy working on. You will be comfortable and be the most useful in that area. Just to find the ground, to find the power for yourself, and constantly look for the opportunities which will get you closer to your goals. If you are dreaming about the leadership role, just move in that direction. Try, no matter big or small the step you are doing, just be patient and don't give up when it doesn't seem to be right.
Great. And finally, yourself, Najwa.
Yeah, I resonate a lot with what Julia said. I think that when I transitioned, when I talked to people, and I had a lot of feedback of people telling me, I also want to transition, but I'm not sure on what to do. I just know that I want to change. And I think it's a very interesting and exciting moment, and it's not easy. It's not trivial to know what you want. And I think that you just need to ask yourself a few questions. And those that helped me were like, what do I like about what I do today? For example, I liked working with customers. Or what do I look for in a job? What I want my day to day to look like, and what am I really good at today? For example, a lot of skills can be transferable from any job to any other job. So think about those, and those will be your strengths in the next in your next adventure. And in general, I would say just be curious, listen to podcasts, get yourself involved, do side projects, and try to meet people as much as you can. I discovered Meetup. There's a Meetup website, for instance, where you can just go to in your city, find meetups and conferences in any topic where you can meet and get yourself in a really nice network and collaborative, and hear about the latest news, the latest topics, and get yourself in that culture of that job that you want to get.
Amazing. No, great. Well, thank you for everyone for your insights. And we'll now move into the Q&A. I can see we've had a few questions come in. So the first one is, if I don't have an engineering or coding background, but have been working in program management in the tech space, how do you think I can transition? What are the core technical and software skills that are most important to nurture? So I don't know who would want to take that one first.
I could start maybe, and maybe you can folks complete. I think it really depends on what you're trying to transfer to. If you want to transfer to a software engineer role or to something like product management, because really, if you have been in program management in tech space, it means that you probably understand the ecosystem of software in general. So if you want to transition more in product management, then I would say that you have a pretty good basis for that. So you just need to get the right product mindset, and you just need to transition from the program to product management mindset. So it's not a big leap, in my opinion. So it's just about maybe doing some online courses on product management and understanding what it's really about and the changes compared to program management.
Awesome. That's great. And any further advice, or should we move on to the next question? No?
I got to add on to that. If this is somebody that wants to transition to software engineering instead, I would kind of like, if they're already program managing within their company, I would recommend for them to connect with like some software engineers on their team and maybe learn a little bit more about the code base. Maybe they'll try to set up their local environment, and then maybe see if there are like some small bugs and low-hanging fruit issues where they can just like kind of get their hand dirty a little bit. I'm not sure if I would recommend any like specific technical area to improving, because it all really depends on the team that you work on and the product that you work on. But the best way to learn to like code more on a daily basis is to do the thing. So that's what I would recommend.
No, great. And our second question is, as a lead engineer, how do you try to keep yourself engaged in new technologies and learning? Where and what do you refer to find interesting topics? So I don't know, Julia, I know you're in the sort of leadership side.
I'd be happy to answer here. So it's it's a tricky question. So first of all, for myself, I'm trying to follow technologies I'm interested in. So this is not necessary should be the new things or something like very, very hype and progressive around. By the accident, I'm now a tech lead of GenAI security GenAI team. So now I'm really into the technology. I'm trying to find any resources and starting from the scratch, learning about what is GenAI, what is machine learning, what everything. There is a bunch of resources around. There is a Coursera and very, very known resources for each big company right now, Google, Amazon, and everyone. They are trying to spread information, and I'm trying to focus on the things which will be more relevant for my team and for our product vision, on just to align with that. If I have my free time, like my personal time, I can read the interesting articles. I'm following a bunch of people on Twitter, which is really famous in tech, and trying just to if somebody catching my eye or something that I like to learn to, I'm following and continue learning about that thing.
Amazing. I don't know, Jen, as well, if you have any insights, obviously, how you as an engineering manager make sure that you stay close to the tech.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a little bit different because the nature of our product is such that like we have to kind of learn something new all the time. So as we get like a new feature, maybe it's something that's related to role-based access control. If I'm not that super familiar with that space, then I'll spend some time just learning some more content in that space. So it's not really me going out and like looking at things that I'm interested in, but really me trying to understand a new technology for the sake of the product that we are building. So that's where it starts for me.
Awesome. Okay, good. And then I think probably the last question, and I'm sure you're all probably going to mention the sort of product area that you are sort of working in. But yeah, from your perspective, which Elastic product do you expect to see the biggest growth? And yeah, where do you think people should keep an eye on for sort of potential applications?
Everything.
I think a lot of security products is growing, and
Yeah.
we have amazing security product. We have amazing observability products. We have like Elasticsearch and everything. So, and that Teams is growing, and all that areas is growing. I think a lot of opportunities is going to be around Gen AI, as I said, because the technology moving in that direction. So yeah, just keep an eye on the openings, and our teams are constantly growing.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. Yeah, and what about yourself, Jen? I don't know if you want to give an insight into anything that's coming up in your area.
Yeah, so the area that I work on is the platform team within Elastic. And I think platform is a pretty big org. So there's always like posting for the platform team. And specifically within the ingest team, we are going to be focusing on open telemetry a lot in the near future. So I believe there's a couple of open telemetry engineers positions open. And I expect that we'll be probably adding a few more people dedicated to open telemetry.
Awesome. No, I know. Well, I think, yeah, we're due to get our new, hopefully, headcount released, obviously. Yeah, so definitely keep an eye on our careers site if anyone is interested. But yeah, I think that's all we have time for today. Obviously, yeah, if anybody does have any sort of further questions, please do, yeah, connect with us on LinkedIn or feel free to sort of post them in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But yeah, thank you everybody for your time today. And thank you so much for joining to the audience. Yeah, it was great to meet everyone. Bye.